What's up, buttercups? Hope you guys are having an amazingly golden day with cherries on top. My name is Elvis and you are watching The Golden Drive. So I'm currently LS swapping my 1973 Jaguar XJ6 and I just got the engine and transmission bolted to the car, which is, oh, I'm so excited. So now, naturally, the next thing is fuel system, a fuel system setup. And so for that, I got a fuel tank, not the ECU obviously, but a fuel tank. It's a 20-gallon fuel tank, and I also got what's it called? A fuel filter, fuel regulator, what's it called? A fuel pump, some wires, and what's it called? I forgot the name of that thing. Just things to put the fuel hose. That's what it's called. And so we're gonna head to where the Jag is now, my friend's house, and then we will get all these loaded. Whew. The fuel pump is not so heavy, but it looks very heavy. So so if you guys know the Jag, it actually has two fuel tanks from the factory. One on this side, their saddle tanks, literally down there, and one on the other side. But we're gonna be using a fuel cell instead, just for more safety, because if someone ever rear ends me, and the saddle tank is right there, I'm afraid of an explosion. Also, the two tanks are not connected, which will prove a problem because, yeah, I don't know. I just want a simpler, just easier route and I could have used the stock tanks, but I'm just gonna use a different one. So with that said, let's clear this mess out. Oh my gosh, it's a disaster up here. Oh, this is gonna take me a while, so I'll be back. It's all gone. Now, the reason I'm with these two things, this is a blowtorch and this is a, what's it called? Insecticide. It's because the last time I opened an interior, which was inside a Jag, I saw a massive black widow spider. So, and also I also just saw that movie, so that movie was amazing. But and then And now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the amazingly ugly trunk. It's massive though, and hopefully our fuel tank should fit there. I didn't do precise measurements, but it'll be fine. If not, we're just gonna cut stuff. We're just gonna start cutting. Whew, dang, it's dirty in here. I need to vacuum this place up. And ta-da! Took me a while, probably about 30 minutes just to vacuum everything. There's still a little bit of mess up here, but it's fine. I'll take care of it later. For now, we want to try to get this, to test fit this pump or this fuel tank and see if it fits. So let's do that. But it's very light, of course, because aluminum. Oh, I literally don't see where I'm going. Okay. Let's see what happens. Please fit. Ooh, that literally fit like it was almost meant to be. Oh, I just hit something in the back. I don't know what that was. But yeah, it's not a perfect fit, but I know we can massage some things, cut some things out and make it fit. Which is exactly what we're gonna do. So we're gonna mark, we're gonna cut, it's gonna be golden. But that literally just looks so cool in there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out that hole right there. Camera's not focused, but that hole right there. I'm gonna chop it off and then continue fitting. So I've just cut off that and now it's mostly flat, so that should be a problem. I probably need to grind that down, but it's fine. I need to chop off all of this old fuel hose slash fuel lines. I don't know if I need to chop it off or just take it off normally, but since we're not using it anymore, I don't know. Let's see what happens. So guys, I am trying like a mature adult not to cut everything that I see. Like this fuel, is that a fuel filter or something? But the car does not seem to be working with me. So I actually kind of smell fuel. Oh, there was fuel in here. Oh my gosh. I literally could have died. Oh my god. There was freaking fuel in here. Well, that was not very wise, but thank God that I did not die and spontaneously combust into flames. Oh my, like literally, there's fuel in here. Oh my gosh. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for not, look, literally, like, there's, and it actually smells like fuel. Yeah, okay. No more cutting. I'm gonna be gentle from now on. Crap. So, after all that welding, this is what I came up with. If this camera would focus, come on, focus, focus. So, while it's still taking its time to focus, I pretty much did a thing. I did a bunch of welding, and after the welding was done, this is what came out. So there's two of these guys. So if you look at it, it looks kind of like a stand. So they're gonna go on the fuel tank, mount like this, and then they're gonna mount with bolts on the bottom. It doesn't make sense now, but I promise it will, which I'm gonna show you on the car right now. So I've gotten the fuel tank out of the car, and this is what it looks like. If you look at those standy boys are right there, they're underneath. I haven't drilled the holes yet, but there's 4 holes, so I'm gonna do the 4 drilly boys. And this was the plug that I made, or so I can be able to like pretty much mount the whole rail system to the car, because I didn't want to really weld it. I don't know why, but that's kind of what it's gonna look like. And now it's level, and the reason I did it at the angle is because this guy is like a V, so it goes lower than everywhere else in the pan, and that's pretty much because so the fuel, whenever it doesn't pretty much do a lot of sloshing, so it's almost like a baffle area where the fuel gets trapped and it doesn't go out. So whew, we're gonna mark the holes now, and then we're gonna drill them, and we're gonna put screws in the car, or bolts and nuts in the car, and that should be it, hopefully. Whew. And then we'll start designing the actual fuel system, so with the piping and all that good stuff. So yeah. So I've kind of marked up where the tank is going to go, and yeah, so I'm just waiting for the hardware store to open tomorrow, and I will go get the bolts, which I'm going to use all the bolts to mount. But for now, we are trying to make our fuel system. So I got a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of fittings, and I'm going to be using AN6 line for my AN6 fittings for my stuff. And so yeah, there's just a ton of like random fitting, AN8 to AN6 adapters, regular AN6 fitting, 5/16 to AN line, a converter which is for the fuel pump, and the fuel rails, and then I also got me a glorious filter. So this is probably a knockoff of like one of the Bosch or one of the nicer units, but it was cheap, and it says JDM speed motor. But by the time I cover it with this sock, which like helps to like dampen the vibrations and the sounds from the external fuel pump, it'll be fine. So I'm guessing the fuel pump is going to go around maybe here. And I'm trying to decide if to do before or after fuel filter, so I might do a pre-filter, which filters the fuel before it gets here so I don't damage the pump. And then I'm going to use a Corvette style, where is that thing? A Corvette style fuel filter slash regulator before it goes, I don't know what that sound was, but yeah. Okay, yeah, before it goes to the fuel rails. So you have this one, which is probably going to go, you have a low and a high pressure side. It doesn't say which one it is, which I'm kind of concerned about, but I think this is the sending part, and then this other one is the return for after the fuel has been regulated. But again, since it's a cheap brand, it doesn't say what it is. We will find out. It's fine. Okay, so this is probably going to go here. There's like mountings for where the original, which is actually pretty awesome, where the original double fuel tanks go. And I'm probably just going to mount them kind of like here. So the fuel pump is going to go here. The fuel filter is going to go here. Fuel filter regulator is going to go here. And then there's like a hole here that goes to the fuel tank. I'm going to get the fuel tank out, make some AN line, and that goes straight to the injectors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really hope this works. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have never done this before, but it's also very exciting and terrifying because I'm messing with fuel. Yesterday I cut into a fuel line, which could have resulted in an explosion because there was literally fuel there. I'm still smelling the fuel till today, but God saved me. So yeah, with that said, let's get started. And and I also got a bunch of AN line, which is over here. So I think it's like 25 feet or something. So hopefully this is enough, and a bunch of fittings and adapters and all that stuff, so I can be able to make the line for this. But yeah, let us get started with making the line. I just made AN lines for the first time in my life, and it sucked initially. I didn't film it because I was learning, and I was messing up a lot. And so you would see I kind of like messed up these threads a little bit because I used the wrong socket. But it took me like a day or two, finally made these, and I think I have the hang of it right now. I wouldn't really show you guys how to make it. Actually, maybe I'll show you guys one of them, but yeah, I've pretty much made 3 now, and they're both ends. So now we're gonna go test, and I've also installed the fuel system for the most part. I've done the fuel pump and the filter, so I've also have all the fittings. So I technically have most of the things now needed for the car to run. Now I'm gonna head back to where the car is, my friend's house, and I'm gonna install these. And then we're gonna see what else is left to make the car run. And it's not much, actually. I'm so excited. Okay, let's head there. So this is a brief outline of my fuel system. So you have my fuel cell, which is right here, and then you have 2 lines. This is AN10, and then I put an adapter that adapted it to AN6, And then once that was done, the next thing was to figure out the fuel pump and the fuel filter situation. So I'm gonna later put like a 100 micron filter before the fuel pump, but for now I think it's fine. Let me know if that's a huge mistake or not, but if the pump goes bad, they're not that expensive, at least the eBay fake ones. But anywho, adapted that to AN6 line, and then this is an L bracket, and pretty much boom, that goes straight to the fuel pump with the U clamp or U fitting, and then that goes straight from the fuel pump into the fuel filter. And then this is the 516 line input, and then the output, which is the because this is a fuel filter slash regulator, so that is the return line, which is on the bottom, goes straight back into this L fitting, and then this kind of L fitting, then into my AN10 to AN6 adapter, back into the tank. So that's going to be the return. And then the rest of the fuel that's regulated to about 58 psi goes from here with a U fitting pretty much down straight to the front, which I'm going to show you. I ran it underneath the car, and I'm going to go straight to the front, and it just goes straight to the engine bay. It's right here. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can take a look at what it looks like. I don't think you guys can see it, but the fitting is like literally right here, and it plugs straight into the fuel pump. Now this is an LS intake. I'm gonna be swapping this. This is a truck intake. I'm gonna be swapping this to the car intake later on because literally it can't clear the hood. And but for now, just to let it run, I'm gonna just get a block of plate and block of this and the vacuum line that has because this one has the fuel filter and regulator, or this one has a fuel regulator inside the whole thing, the whole intake, this earlier style truck intake. So I'm gonna block off the return line here, and also block off the vacuum as well, and then yeah, so I can just test it to see if everything runs. But that's pretty much my fuel system, guys. It actually was not that difficult to make. I was making it out to be such like a stressful endeavor, and like, but it wasn't difficult. The hardest part, I think, was just getting the part of like the AN lines and everything set up. So it's a really easy setup. Again, recap: from the fuel cell to the from the fuel cell to later the fuel filter, but for now the fuel pump, and then to the fuel pressure regulator slash filter, and then straight into the intake. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully it works. I'm probably gonna need to tighten everything down later on, but now everything is just kind of loose, and I'm going to use this guy, which is a riv nut tool. I have a regular rivet tool, but I heard the riv nut tools were pretty cool because they let you make holes in the car, but like that you can screw into, so it's like removable. So I'm going to get hose clamps and then rivet this to the bottom of the car, or riv nut this to the bottom of the car, and run all my lines forward. But that's pretty much it, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. I think next now is to get the rest of the hose stuff, like my power steering hose, my transmission cooler as well, and my radiator. And once that's done, I think we can start the car up. Hopefully. No, we still have to do, I mean, I'm working on wiring now, so I still have to do the I still have to unlock the ECU, and I'm gonna do that myself. I don't want to pay someone $50 to unlock the thing. I want to learn how to do it myself. If I break it, I'll just buy a standalone ECU or standalone harness. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm really hoping to get this started before the end of this month. And I still need to order my drive shaft, so I'm going to a drive shaft shop tomorrow to hopefully place an order for a drive shaft. So I have all my drive shaft measurements, which I'm going to take them now, and yeah, order the drive shaft, and that pretty much does the whole drivetrain. Once the drive shaft is complete, freaking insect. Yeah, if you guys don't know me, I am terrified of insects. So no matter how big or how small, they're all terrifying. But guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the golden day. I'm so excited, and I cannot wait for this Jag to run. And then I'm also going to get new front springs, because the suspension in the front, it had a much heavier engine before, and now, even though this engine is lighter, it's like that. So it's too high. So I need more suspension or lowering springs on the front. So just to make it a little bit lower. But that's pretty much it. I've said it like 5 times, but have an amazing rest of the golden day. I'm so excited. Bye.